Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Cindy, if we get a roll.
Offerly.
Here.
Barton.
Here.
Fetteridge.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Shook.
Here.
Spar.
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from November? There's no amendments. Do I hear a motion for approval?
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the minutes as stated.
Second.
Barton.
Yes?
Fetteridge.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Shook.
Yes.
Spar.
Yes.
Warren.
Yes.
Offerly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, before we start the first case, Attorney would like to read just a short little memo.
Thank you. Public hearing is being held tonight pursuant to published notice. Any person wishing to address the zoning board will be sworn in by our court reporter and will give their testimony under oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the zoning board will make its recommendation. 4 yes votes are required to obtain the affirmative recommendation of the zoning board. For a variation, the zoning board's task is to determine whether an applicant meets certain legal requirements, not to evaluate whether a proposed variance is a good idea. The zoning board cannot grant a variance unless it finds the evidence presented before it proves each of the required criteria contained in the village code and Illinois law. Among other factors, the zoning board considers whether hardship exists, which is unique to this parcel. The board also considers the effect of the proposed variance on the public good and on neighboring properties. Unless the zoning board finds all the required criteria is met based on the evidence presented, the zoning board cannot by law grant the applicant a variance.
Okay, with that said, our first case tonight is 15-01. Paul Moreno is requesting a variance for a circular drive, a drive setback, and a second driveway at 735 Stoneway Drive, zoned R1. Paul, you want to step up and be sworn in? And, you can just step in front of Arlene. And
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Paul Marino, and we bought the lot. It's lot 27 currently, and Outlot A, which is there's 2 lots here. And it's kind of a unique situation. We're asking for the 2 curb cuts, which are in the packets that were given out. Partially is the reason, one of the reasons is the median, and it's accessing the property. The high side of the lot is typically where you want your driveway, to keep it being too steep, but also you'd have to come in from coming in off of Ennis from this direction, you'd have to do a loop around to get it just to this side. So we're proposing putting a circular drive here in the front. And another reason for that is the distance between the face of curb to face of curb here is only 20 feet. So any parking on the street there would be a little bit dangerous and tight to maneuver through. So that's the reason for that. Obviously, if we put a semicircular drive in the front, then that creates a setback, a little bit tight on the setback, the 25-foot setback. I think it's like 3 to 4 feet beyond that in the front. And basically, we did move the house back from 35 to about 43, and to kind of get that closer to the 25-foot setback. But we didn't want to have to push the house back too far. Also, the 25-foot width on the west side of the home is 3 feet beyond the setback on the Veterans Road side, on this side. And that's just due to trying to allow more room to enter the side load garage on that side. We can't really push the house this way, which would allow us to, well, we can, but we'd rather not, because there's a 10-foot drainage easement here on both sides, and this is an overflow route. You can see the storm sewer running up through the lot pushing the house that way kind of makes it hard to not fill that 10-foot easement, so we got to stay out of that. So that was another reason to not put the driveway going all the way up to the house on that side. It's the low side, which would make the drive steeper, and also would maybe require filling or a retaining wall on that side for the driveway itself. So there's a few engineering things related to the property that we were asking for there. Basically, the north drive just allows us to get some practical use. I don't have room for basically another 2-car garage. We're closing in on a 4-car family, and so if we have a 2-car garage, I have a door in the back of the garage, then I can basically drive straight out if someone's 2 cars are parked, no front to back in the garage. So and also kind of a little bit more safety and convenience, and kind of gives us more parking in the back as well. Like to get some use out of that lot, I guess, is kind of what that's trying to do. But basically storage and some off-street parking, and due to traffic flow, and that drainage easement is all the reasons we're trying to ask for these variances on the property.
Are you going to put a berm, veteran side?
Yeah, we're proposing putting one up here along the
Okay.
lot line all the way up to the corner. We basically want to take the dirt from the house excavation and build up that side, and then do some probably evergreens over there, make it a little more private. We got a lot of headlights coming off of veterans turning this way, and so it'd be also help with that situation.
Is that berm gonna go from the street there, Stoneway, all the way back, or where are you gonna start it?
The house, right now, the plan is showing the garage, the longer 1-car goes all the way to the utility. There's a utility easement back here. We're trying to stay out of it. There's a telephone line running through there. So the house is going to come back to that area. And then the berm would probably start somewhere in here and go back.
Okay.
Is what we're thinking.
I'm going to open this up to is there anybody in the audience that wants to comment to this case? Ed, do you have a question? Because if you want, you can be sworn in and you can ask it.
Raise your right hand. Do solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Ed, if you just step up to the microphone so we can record.
I just one short question is, the garage that's behind the house, how tall is that gonna be?
It's the same, just a single car. It's an 8-foot garage door, so it'll match the height of the garage door.
Okay, thank you.
It won't be an outbuilding size or anything like that. And it's all attached to the house.
Hey, Ed, could you just go to the microphone and just repeat that question, just so it picks it up with the camera? Thanks.
Can you give your name and address, please?
Yeah,
His name too.
okay.
I'm Ed Smith, live at 2236 Veterans Road, the adjoining property to the rear. The question is how tall will the garage that's in the back be?
Okay. And it was answered 9 foot, 6, or whatever it's going to be for inside.
8-foot garage door.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah.
And how much parking will be back there? How many vehicles are gonna be on that?
I think it just has a single car, it's just 10 foot wide, so,
Right.
I mean, if you're going to,
Back to back.
yeah, I don't think he's going to stack cars back there, but,
Or construction equipment or anything like that?
no, no.
Okay, thank you.
I've talked to Mr. Knapp. Gene, do you want to speak?
I don't have to. I
Okay.
do not oppose anything, so.
Okay. Gene backs up this piece of property, too. Yeah. And he has no objection to it.
Paul, are you going to construct the additional garages if that drive is there or not? I mean, is that part of the plan anyways?
You mean the single car that goes
Yeah.
to the back? Right now, I'm planning on doing that.
you know, if anything, I guess I drive the mower out if I'm gonna do that or something, but you know, like I said, it's more of a flow situation, and it gives a little more privacy in the back of the house, if I don't construct the berm all the way up. So that's kind of where it's at, but like I said, we have a 16-year-old and one that's gonna be driving in another year and a half. And I think we're gonna end up with that many vehicles at least, plus I might be having another one for work. So I'm just trying to keep them in the garage essentially, and then not have to deal with moving cars in and out of there when we're trying to get the one that's to the back out. I could just safely, and it's a safety issue backing out all that way versus just going straight out the back. Like I said, it does give you a little storage if you have people over. Really, there's nowhere to park here. You know, you can't park on Veterans, obviously. You can't park on the street here. You'd have to go across the street and walk across. And so, you know, maybe just whenever we have someone, you know, get together or something like that, picnic or whatever, we have some room in the back so people are not cluttering up the street either.
I had a question for Roger. That road of Veterans, is that considered a county road or a city road?
Veterans Road,
Yeah.
it's ours for part of the way out here.
I mean, the one that goes past his house there, is that,
That would be ours.
that'd be ours, so, okay. Because I was just concerned of getting permission here, and if you have to get permission from the county too.
No.
Okay.
Anybody on the board have any?
You mentioned in item B of the variance request that you need this driveway on the west side of the home for easier access to side load garage. Can you explain that better?
Yeah, I don't know if you have the home plans, but even on the site plan, I think it might show that garage. And basically, there's no door on the front of the house for that garage. It comes in through the side. I guess the garage door faces to the west, and so coming in there and then pulling back out and getting out is basically trying to give enough room to do that maneuvers, you know. And I think that's where 25 feet is about the right number for that, to kind of make that maneuver happen efficiently. The house does meet the setbacks. It would just be the driveway on that side that's.
Ed, you have one more? Okay.
Yeah.
You can step up.
If this street in the back isn't the county's and the city's, if it's the city's, how come there's no improvements done on it? And who's gonna take care of the improvements if he puts another driveway on there?
I don't think that's,
That's not for here.
yeah, I don't think we can do that here. I mean, I can't answer that question.
And this period's for any comments you want to make to the board or questions to the applicant as opposed to questions for the board. So if you have a comment you'd like to make to the board, there's an opportunity to do so. We've been allowed the opportunity to ask questions to the applicant, but, and the scope of the questioning portion even for the applicant is limited to matters that are germane to the variance request.
Okay.
All right. Does anybody else have a question?
Are we approving these all as one or
Three separate ones.
separate?
So you can do it either way. If you're all comfortable with what would be omnibus action on all three items together, you can do so. If you'd rather do them as three separate votes, you can do that as well. It is presented as one case, however you prefer to vote.
I'm all right with one. I don't know how everybody else feels. Bill, you all right with one?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, then we'll have just with a motion with both amendments in it.
All three, I think.
Or all three, I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, would like to move to approve the case number 1501 under 1010-2C as stated.
We have a second?
I'll
second that. Thank you. Fedorich,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Popperly,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
and Jones.
I'm going to abstain.
Thank you.
Okay, variance, thank you. Thanks for the plans, they were really nice. That was. Okay, our second case tonight, case number 1502, Morton Community Unit School District 709 is requesting a variance for lighting, bleachers, and press box at 350 North Illinois Avenue, zoned R1. Stadium lights, height of 80 feet, home side bleachers and press box, height of 37 feet, and a visitor side bleachers, height of 25 feet, and the number of accessory structures. Want to step up and state your name and have Arlene swear you in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Bruce Brown from the Farnsworth Group, also a Morton resident, 300 East Fernwood as well, so I have a vested interest.
Okay.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Bruce Brown, Farnsworth Group. I'm also a Morton resident at 300 East Fernwood, so I have a vested interest.
Just turn it up just a little bit. Okay.
As you're aware, the school district is undertaking a revitalization of the athletic facility at the high school. We are currently preparing bid documents to do such, and we wanted to, in speaking with Roger and Craig and everybody at the village, we just wanted to make sure we had everything cleaned up as far as zoning goes with this. We're not really changing the use per se. We are keeping the stadium as you see it today. It'll be an east-west configuration, but we'll be rebuilding the stadium completely, all new bleachers, new press box, new visitor bleachers as well. We'll be remodeling the Gateway building. We'll be adding on to some buildings here on site, and then we'll be moving the tennis complex from the north down to the south end of the site. So right now we put into the variance, the request, the bleachers are in excess of 30-some feet to the press box. These are the heavy-duty aluminum I-beam type system, so a lot more structurally sound, long lifespan, high enough that the school district could even come back and build underneath of those at some point in time for better land use down the road. Although I have a press box on top of that, we'll have a 4-pole light system around the football field, and those poles will be in excess of about 80 feet in height. The final number will vary a couple feet depending on the photometrics as they start to work on the lighting itself and the topography of that land. Do you have questions?
I think it's going to be a great deal. The only problem I have is on the tennis courts lighting, spillage on the K Street side. I don't think the football field I worry about it as bad as them not having, they haven't dealt with lights.
Let's clarify on the tennis lights, those are not 80-foot tall, those are 35-foot tall lights.
Okay.
We are actually going to go to a more, instead of just putting the lights around the outside, I should have brought you a floor plan of the tennis courts. It's 8 courts in what we call 2 batteries, so 2 batteries side by side. We'll have lights around the outside, but we'll also have lights in the middle. And what that does is it gives us the ability to aim those lights much better.
Okay.
So we'll use more poles, which is a little bit more of a cost to the district, but much better aiming. And all of the lights, whether it be football or tennis, there will be the shields, cutoff shields inside, so we can try to minimize the backlight that comes out of those lights at that time as well.
Okay.
I don't know that it matters for this discussion, but the school district and the park district are working on that project together, and they will also be working with the neighborhood as to when those lights will be shut off, so
Okay.
that there's not, lights running at 2 o'clock in the morning
Right.
down there.
I don't. That's my question I had was the tennis courts.
Yeah, the concern I have is make sure the lights are off by midnight. I assume they would be. They wouldn't have matches that late.
And we had a long discussion today. I think the aim is actually 10 o'clock.
Oh, 10, okay.
That may change, but that's the discussion right now.
Okay.
And the good news is the community, the park district will be actively involved with the tennis courts and managing those in the evenings, so we'll have good supervision down there as well. And the timing on those clocks or those lights on tennis will be set up so that whatever the designated shut-off time is, they go down no matter what, and nobody cannot override that and turn them back on.
Oh, good.
Hope a football game doesn't go past 10.
No, we don't have that one on that. No timers over there, so, no timers there.
All right. Nobody else has a, I'm comfortable on this one, doing it as a lump, as one.
Yeah.
15 motion.
We'll change the height of the lights on the tennis from what they request. They state stadium lights,
Where does it say?
but they don't say anything about the tennis lights.
Oh, you mean put a height, well, I think.
It says 40.
40.
It says 40.
There'll be a maximum of 40. There'll be
Max of 40, I think they
35 to
said they
40
might
feet
adjust
on
the
the
David
tennis
as far as
lights.
they need,
Yes.
up and down, or
Yeah.
down.
And we're glad to turn in all final drawings when that comes around too, if you need those to have on file.
Move that, I hear a motion.
Mr. Chairman, on case number 15-02, I move that the request be granted as stated and requested.
I'll second.
Jones,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Hopperly,
Yes.
Barton,
Yes.
and Better.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, glad we can start on it, it'd be nice.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that would be nice. Good.
Roger,
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Newhouse?
Nothing tonight.
All right, with that, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.